can see the clients then going, oh.
I want to create an environment where they can give you that information without feeling judged and without feeling like it's going to be a shit answer.
Because when we're teaching it, we expect that linear progression, and we go, when you do this, this should happen.
I want to continue the theme of idealistic clients, if that's okay.
No.
Oh, screw you, we're doing it anyway. So in a recent episode, we were talking about the marketing to the ideal client and how we can skew that sometimes by putting too much focus on the people, the end result people, the people that aren't quite at that point yet, and we want them to be at that point when they start the training. So today I thought it'd be nice for us to focus on the expectations or not that we're setting for people, how much we truly listen and understand what it is they want for their dogs or that they want for them, because let's face it, it's what they want to make their life easier. As much as we hope it's that they're thinking about the dogs, they're not always thinking about the dogs. And like how we can change perspective really of feeling frustrated around clients not doing the work.
My brain has weirdly gone to,
God knows what you're going to say.
I was going to say I wasn't expecting this thought process to have come in, but do you think some of this is linked into how far the dog knowledge has come into fruition over the last few years as well?
Yeah, possibly.
Because I don't know about you, but certainly okay, let me paint a better picture. So for me personally, when I was in the throes of dog training in those first few years, I was very much focused on probably the training aspect more. So if I had a puppy, I would want to be focusing on, right, let's do these loose lead exercises, teach the human, this is how you do it, demo on the dog, and basically want to rep the crap out of it.
The mechanics of it all.
Yeah, do all of that stuff. Similar with like your recall and your jumping, and very much specific step-by-step things. And then I kind of evolved into behaviour stuff as, for me, felt like a natural progression. And I started to learn more, and then you kind of take a step back and you look at things a little bit more holistically, but still with quite a strong presence of do these exercises as well. Because even if it was, I don't know, you was working with a reactive dog and then you're trying to maybe do some like counter conditioning or desensitization or whatever it may be, there's still reps to do of something. And then the more you keep learning and the more you keep consuming, the more I then started having this thought process of, should we even own dogs? Like how difficult the human world is now, should dogs even exist in our lives? Because no, they're not used in the same way that they were initially bred for. And then all of this mind-boggling,
do they cope in our world anymore?
Yeah,
and
like it's so stressful, and we're creating this, and then all of the breed problems and all of the stuff, and then God, like you just keep going on into rabbit holes. And then like when Kim Brophy's stuff came out, even more, I was like, fuck, like
now we're looking at it from a different lens.
Yeah.
And
I started looking at my sessions and going almost paralyzed with an ability of, I don't actually know how to meet the client's request anymore, because I'm looking at this so differently. I'm no longer looking at this as you've got a problem and I can solve it through doing these mechanics and these reps. I'm now looking at it in a way where I'm trying to get you to understand this massive like paradigm shift in dog training, that it's not training anymore. It's stand back, kind of let the dog, almost like, what is the point of being a dog trainer? And I went through a massive identity crisis with it, but almost kept falling back on the reps because I felt like that's what the client wanted. And without it, my whole identity crisis, I wouldn't have a business, if that makes any sense. So then wrapping that up with what the owners are wanting versus our own expectations, in one chapter of my dog business, dog training and behaviour life, my expectations would have been, if you'd called me out to do loose lead walking, I would expect for you to do these reps, proof it in these different areas, and do a minimum of 20 minutes a day. And that needs to, I don't know where the 20 minutes came from, but everybody does it, don't they?
Yeah, 20 minutes,
Minimum 20 minutes a day. And I don't care if that's 1 20-minute block or if you do 3 minutes in the morning.
5 sessions,
yeah, like 2 minutes here, cup of tea, training, like whilst the kettle's on. Well, you're screwed now if you ain't got a kettle and you've got a hot tap. But do you know what I mean? Like all this stuff where it was like, do this. And then the next time you'd see them, like, right, so how are you getting on? Oh, well, we haven't done much because, life, and I'd be thinking, oh, for fuck's sake. So, but you're still moaning that the dog's pulling you, but you haven't done the work. Okay, so let me spend the next 60 minutes going over the reps again, showing you that the dog can do it. Let's get them out the door. I was like, oh, I can see that you've not really worked the door because the dog's still an absolute knob by the door and they're losing their shit because they're so excited. This is what I need you to focus on. So for the next week then, I'm not even bothered about you getting out of the house. I just need you to work on this door because if we're going out with this much energy and enthusiasm, then that's going to carry through onto the walk. And then my head's going, so what am I actually telling them now? Are they not allowed to walk their dog?
I've been here. Absolutely recalling a program I did with someone all about this. Yeah.
But we're doing it with that intention of, if you want this, this is the work that you've got to put in.
You almost have to keep back chaining it to the very, very first trigger, don't you? And then they're not actually able to do anything.
Yeah. It's like, okay, so now you're stuck in a house where realistically you've got to go to work. You've maybe got kids. You've maybe got people to look after.
And you've got a working Cocker Spaniel.
Yeah. You've got a life.
Yeah.
You need to burn some energy off that dog in some way, shape or form. So you're going to have to go through the threshold with the equipment of the lead and the harness, which might be the triggers. You've got to get them to the car, so they're going to experience being on the lead. So they're still going to experience the pull to get to the car, to go to the off-lead field and all this stuff. And then our brains are going, oh my God, how do I actually help this? And then you start thinking, God, I just need to do this and just be here for you. But I haven't got that type of program set up. And then I don't know, it's just a massive, you can see you've got an absolute head fuck of a situation.
Got paralysis on what to even do or how to start it or what we're going to give somebody. And
already your expectations are completely different.
Because they're going like, oh, we're still doing this door thing. Like, God, I just want to actually get on with doing the thing that's the problem.
You just show, I don't mind him pulling out the door or on the street. It's at this particular area that I've got the problem. I just want him to walk nicely on lead there. I'm like, well, yes, but it starts here. So we've got to do this. But I understand you want to be there. But in order to get there, we've got to start here. So I need you to do this work. But then there's zero motivation. There's no time. And it's all the stuff that you've then got to spend time educating. But there's only so much you can do in a 60-minute session.
Yeah.
Wow.
All the limitations. You've literally just described so many of the sessions that I used to do.
It's so difficult because again,
we're up against it, aren't we? That's the problem.
You are?
Because your head's so full of all this different stuff as well, and trying to please the client, or inside thinking you're a fucking twat, but outwardly trying to be with them.
And it's like, if I really spend the entire session just working on door work, is the client going to be happy with that? Well, no, absolutely not. So I need to give them more stuff to show them that I know what I'm doing. So on top of that, I'm now going to maybe add in a boundary or a place thing to go, right, so in between the door work, I want you to be able to send the dog to the bed so they can just have a chill out for a moment. This also double whammies up as if you've got a guest coming over, then the dog can hang out by the door because they're used to doing it. So I want you to practice that over and over and over again, on top of getting the lead out, putting it down, associating it with all the good stuff. And then I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, isn't it? Oh God, yeah. Totally relate to that.
It's really hard being a dog trainer.
And I think this comes down, it's where do you start with it? And it's how much are you actually communicating an actual two-way conversation with the client and asking them? Because realistically, right, we know that we need to do all of that pre-stuff. We need to pick up the lead, put it down, do the door work, and then the dog won't explode at the first sight of say if it's a reactive dog, for example. That's the way I would have thought about it. I've gone, do all this stuff first. By the time the dog gets out, it'll be calmer. It'll respond better to the dog. And therefore, you've got more chance of getting that connection and blah, blah, blah. Right. So on and so forth. if the person is clear, so say if that's your plan and you start doing all this stuff and they're clearly not doing it and you're having to go over it and you're not really getting very far, it would be that point where you'd kind of go, right, we've got two choices here. We can do all that stuff and it feels really shit and boring. Maybe I can take that off your hands and I'll do that stuff for you then. If you really feel that that stuff has to happen, is there a way that you can make their life easier so it gets them on board with the stuff they do want to do? I don't know. That's up to you. Or we go, if we don't do that bit, we can absolutely jump ahead to the other bit, but you're likely to have this kind of problem. So how do you feel about that then? So if we were just to start working on the other stuff, which we can absolutely do, and it's like just having that clear conversation, being open, being transparent, they're understanding your limitations, you're understanding their limitations. Surely that's a really good place to start with it.
Yeah. I wonder if other people have done this, or if you could relate. I wonder if you've done this. Have you ever been in a situation where you have gotten so engrossed in trying to figure out why the dog's losing their shit at trying to get out the door, for example, just stick with that one. And you've almost gone mute because you've just gone into your own head and maybe you've got the lead, so you're working the dog.
Yeah.
And then you kind of realize like, oh, you've just been watching me for about 10 minutes now, just work, and because you're trying to rep it and you're trying to figure out what's going on. And then you try to then articulate it back to the client and go like, sorry, what I've been trying to figure out here is, this is how my brain's working, is I'm trying to figure out the exact moment where the dog goes, wow, this is amazing, we're going out. And I'm just working that area. So hopefully what you can see here, and you can see the clients then going, oh,
they love that though. They love kind of watching it, don't they?
And then you hand the dog back over because then you realise, oh shit, it's not me.
I've actually got to give it back.
Yeah. Like, you do this. You have a go and then I'll watch you. And then
it's painful.
Let's face it, it's painful. So then you step back in and go like, hold on, give it to me. I'll do it. And you think you're helping, but actually it's not, because then what we end up doing is you go, fuck, I'm now at time. I've got to go.
They don't now know what to do.
They don't know what to do. You expect them to do what you've done over the next week. They haven't done it because they don't really know what to do. And I've done it where I've sent them a video on how to do it. I've sent them a step-by-step PDF guide. I've done it in a voice note. I've given them the stuff. But it's not the same because they haven't been taught it. And it's so fucking hard. Yeah. It is so hard. And then again, their expectation of, well, we're working on loose lead and then you're teaching me to do like boundary stuff. Like, why?
How's that going to help?
What's the difference? Because, well, we need to settle the dog. And then if we're out and about, I've got a safe place to put them and they can just reset. And for me, I'm aware I'm probably sharing all of my flaws as a dog trainer. I never professed to be an amazing dog trainer. I've got my own imposter syndrome around it, even though I've studied all the stuff and I've done it for years. I still feel quite exposed actually talking about the detail.
Methodologies.
Yeah. I do. Like, so for any of you listening, I'm right there with you. I feel very exposed right now because I'm certain some of you might be thinking like, oh, fucking hell, like what you've just said doesn't sound right and blah, blah, blah. But who knows? It's the way that I've done things. But that thought process of this is what we're going in, this is what we're doing, this is how we're trying to help. There's no guarantee of that behaviour that you're actually going to be able to get. How do you figure it all out? And let's face it, a lot of it is like on the job learning. You can't read it in a book. I mean, you can.
But can you execute it just by reading it in a book?
Yeah.
Potentially some people can, some people can't.
But there's too many variants, isn't there? Because you've got the people aspect, you've got the environment, you've got...
And I think you've just got it. Like, we're massive on getting quick wins for people as well, aren't we? So even if there is a bigger plan, and this is us, we're not telling you how to dog train, by the way, here. We're just like saying what kind of worked well for us. But even if you've got that bigger plan and you've got that really like, oh, I really know this dog's got potential and it can be this and it can be that and it can go on holiday with you and all this stuff. It's like, give them something that is going to get them a result quickly, that is going to add to that bank account of trust and like you are working towards that thing. because at the end of the day, it's their goal and it's not your goal. And so I learned this the hard way with a client that I had for a while. And I was like, at the end of they actually did 2 programs with me. And at the end of it, I remember going like, they still haven't got anywhere near, it was a big reactive German Shepherd, like they still haven't got anywhere near where I wanted them to be. These people were so happy with the result. They were so like, oh my God, we've come so far. Like he can do this now, he can do that now. He didn't know how to play with them before. He didn't know how to do all this other stuff, right? They were really happy with it. And yet I was like, oh shit, that isn't what they came to me for. And I think their not expectations, their goal changed as we went through. And that's okay.
I think this happens more often than not.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you don't know what you don't know. And when you have a problem, you want it solved. And then when you start going on that journey, you figure different things out and go, oh, well, actually, the thing that I came to you for was a problem. And I didn't realise that all this other stuff was annoying me, because maybe that was just the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. And now all that other stuff that I didn't initially see as a problem has got better. So it's made everything easier.
Yeah.
So even though maybe that loose lead or that reactivity is still happening, I'm not as stretched or stressed because the whole situation has improved.
Yeah, because actually the things they got the most out of is stuff like enrichment, like feeding the dog differently and giving it a job to do, which it didn't have before. And it could have been a working German Shepherd, like it was that switched on. And like, I just, again, you go, oh, what a waste. You've got this dog and you're doing nothing with it and all that, we all know the feelings. And I remember just going like, oh, just to manage the dog around food and to manage the dog in a really excitable way because they just weren't meeting its needs. Just get a Kong, get a licky mat, get a couple of things, just oh my God, this is one of the best things we've ever learned, is just literally feeding the dog in a different way, just getting food and chucking it on the lawn, for example. And that was like more valuable to them than all the other stuff we'd done about like working on the door and like everything you were saying. I'm like, oh my God, yes. Working on the door, picking up the lead, la la la. And they weren't doing that as much, and it's boring, isn't it? That's why. And like they loved the food thing. They loved giving him cardboard boxes and chucking food in and letting him rip up the boxes and that. And that's what they found the most valuable. And I was like disappointed. But I think it was only when chatting with you afterwards that I was like, actually, if they're happy and they feel like it was value and they would pay you again, or they would tell their friends about you, that's got to be a good thing, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe they're not cut out to have, they shouldn't have had the dog in the first place. We knew this. But maybe they were never going to do it. Maybe their goal was something they realised as they went through the programme it was out of reach and they're never going to solve. And they came to accept it and it was okay. Now, I would do things differently now by actually asking them those questions and kind of delving into it, which I didn't do. But this is the beauty, I suppose, of having that relationship. Because I absolutely could have done that, because I built this relationship up with them for like over a year, basically it was. And that's the beauty of being able to do that, having clients that you're working with for a while. And you don't know what you don't know. So you're thinking they're thinking all these things. They might be thinking you're thinking all these things. And unless you actually chat about it. So like for us, very much our focus on those training programs in the end was like, let's chat, let's sit down, let's review it. What's working well, what's not? A bit like we would work with people in their business. Tell us what's going well. Oh, since we last spoke to you, this is working really well. Brilliant. What particularly about that is going really well? Like they give you the answer. What's not working well? I'm really struggling with this. Why are we struggling with this? Tell me the reasons why that's happening. And you're going to know life's got in the way. We've got this to deal with. We actually find it really boring. And you want them to be able to say that to you. You want to create an environment where they can give you that information without feeling judged and without feeling like it's going to be a shit answer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Oh, this industry that we've created for ourselves is crippling us with imposter syndrome.
Yeah. And we have created it all. I say we as the royal we.
Yes.
Not you in particular. But we have. Like we've done it.
Yeah, it's
we can change it and we can fix it.
Yeah, like I say, like the fact that I even feel really exposed by just talking about some of those things.
That's sad,
now.
Isn't it? It's sad, really.
Yeah, it's. There was a time where I don't think I ever could have spoke about stuff like that outwardly. I was always that person that I was very fearful of. I don't know enough. I'm very confident in front of clients.
But you are the expert in the room there, and it's obvious.
Yep.
Here, you go, like, look at all these people. We don't know who they are that are listening, and they're probably shouting at the radio.
Like, oh, you've done something that I wouldn't have done, and all of that. And I'm like, I'm working with the knowledge that I've got. And again,
the
like,
experience I've lived.
Like, and I tell myself, like, 12 years I've been doing it. I've got a degree. I've just studied. I've got the level 6. I've studied the behaviour. I've worked behaviour cases. I've worked behaviour cases in some rescue centres. I've worked a whole array of different cases. Yet still, I don't feel good enough.
Because we rip each other apart. Mm-hmm. And that's the reality of it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like I don't feel like I know enough. Feel like, and this I think comes through in how you approach your sessions with people then. And I think this is how you then start thinking about your business offer, because if you are offering like a loose lead session, for example.
Okay, just a session.
like a one-to-one session, you might approach it like I have done in the past, in the early days of, well, it's only loose leads, so you're only going to need like one session because there's only so much I can show you on what to do. Here's how to do it. You've now got to do that thing. How can I possibly, ethically, with integrity, ask you to stay with me for 5 sessions, 10 sessions, 20 sessions, whatever it is, to teach your dog how to loose lead? That's not ethical because I can show you how to do it in one session. So now you just buy a one-off consult from me.
It's like learning to drive in an hour. Don't you think?
That's a good one. Yeah.
Because you kind of go like, yeah, you could sit there.
Yeah, you could probably do it in that hour.
Overview the whole thing. Right, these are the pedals. These are the indicator. This is what all the stuff does.
And you could probably do the driving in that hour.
You absolutely could. But can you drive? Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
That's a good one.
Just popped into my brain.
You like it?
Yeah. Because I remember actually my dad taught me to drive before I had lessons. And I remember thinking, what?
I've got flashbacks of being stuck in the car, with my mum, and it was horrendous.
No patience.
I'd never do it again.
But I remember thinking, like, he'd gone through it. He literally, I think, did that whole scenario of like, right, before we move, I'm going to teach you all the things. Okay. And he made it sound really simple. So I was like, oh, okay, it can't be that hard then. And then having a go, I was like, oh my God, I was safely in an industrial estate on a Sunday. There was nobody around. And I remember thinking, like, I remember I kept asking him, because he'd gone through gears and he'd gone through like when you change gear and how you know. I was like, but how do you know? Do you have to, this is what came out of my mouth, do you have to pre-plan the route so you know which gear to do when? And he couldn't understand what I was trying to say. So I was just in my brain going like, but I don't know which gear to use, because he hadn't, I don't know if he'd not explained it properly or I just like got stuck in my brain with it or something. But I was like, how am I going to know? And he's like, well, you just know. I was like, how? You just know. And then he'd get angry with me and like frustrated. And I was like, I don't know, I can't do it. And when I look back now, I was like, yeah, my dad had zero patience with me. So that's probably why not a great driving instructor, which is why he wasn't. But I was like stuck on that. And from me going like, oh, this can't be that hard, in an hour, I could probably like get to grips with this, thinking, how am I ever going to pass my test? Like, it's not going to happen. And actually I managed to do, I had 12 lessons, actual lessons, and passed first time. So like with the right person with me by my side. But my dad did continue to let me, like whenever we went somewhere, he'd hand me the keys in our family car and go like, you're driving and stuff. So I kind of got that hands-on experience around it. But yeah, there's so much to learn, isn't there? And so many different situations to be in and proof it and perfect it and look in the mirror, look, all the stuff. Yeah. It's the same as dog training. You just can't expect someone to get it.
Wow, yeah, because even using your example then, I can't remember how many lessons I had. I feel like it was a substantial amount. I'm sure it was like 30 plus. But I was in a car accident during my, I didn't cause a car accident. I was a passenger in somebody else's car. So my confidence completely went. So then building my confidence back up through those lessons is what elongated it. But you can see how that, I mean, the amount of training clients I've done over the years where, say you're working a reactive dog and then everything's going fine and then maybe a dog's just caught you by surprise and you've not been able to manage the situation. Or because the dog is a dog, it's its own mind, it's just gone one day, oh, actually, I'm just having a bad day. I'm just going to explode when I know I haven't been doing that. And then it sets back the mindset. It sets back your feeling of you're shit because that shouldn't be happening now. And even though we say this up front, don't we? We're like, I can't guarantee a behaviour change. I think we believe it to sell it because it takes the pressure off. But deep down, I don't think we actually believe it in ourselves, because when we're teaching it, we expect that linear progression and we go, when you do this, this should happen. Yeah. Does that make any sense?
No, it does make sense. It's like we have a facade to be able to do it, get through the first part of it, but then we go, I'm gonna, because they're on board now, they're going to think like I do and they're going to get it like I do and they're going to keep progressing every single time I see them. And then if they don't, and again, we do the same thing with our confidence dips and we think we're shit and all that. And, you know, as well, the client will think that. And again, it's like, expect it to go. And I suppose, again, it's like, how are you outlining it? How are you setting the expectations? Because anything we learn new, you're going to get this happen. You're going to get an upward trajectory, hopefully. But it is going to be up and down, isn't it? Yeah. Look at our business. It's gone up and down. Like, it's not ever gone smooth sailing because it's not supposed to. That is not how we learn as people, as humans.
No.
You're going to have great moments and you're going to have, like, wobbles. It's going to happen.
And fucking dark days.
And very dark days. And really, we should be saying this to our dog owners and going like, as much as I'm here to support you and we're going to do our damnedest to reach this goal that you've got, obviously I can't guarantee that we will, but we will try. You're probably going to have dips. You're probably going to have great weeks. And I'm probably going to go, wow, brilliant. And then you're going to go, I haven't done anything because your life gets in the way. Maybe we should just be opening things like that, just setting reality and stuff like that. I don't know. I just think the more we know how we operate as human beings, it's the same regarding anything you're learning new.
Yeah.
I went skiing recently and I was so frustrated with myself that I couldn't get it as well as I hoped. And I had to stop myself and catch myself and go like, you've only just learnt this. I added up the hours I'd skied with lessons and stuff before. It's like a few hours. I'm not going to be as good as them lot who we've gone skiing with. Why am I trying to be? Why am I beating myself up about it? And I'm the world's worst at, you know what I'm like.
It's painful, everybody.
But I feel like I've got more, I'm aware of it now, so I can snap myself out of it quicker. I wish it didn't happen at all, but it does. That's just me. But I'm like, who am I trying to be? Why am I trying to be brilliant and great at everything when I'm not? I hopefully will be, and I'd like to keep trying. But I felt like giving up the first day, and I was like, what a shit mindset to be in. I want to give it up and not do it. Yeah. I'll never know if I love it then, will I? And that's the way I turn it round for myself. Was like, I'll never know if I love it or not. And I think I could love it. I'm just not there yet, and I shouldn't be there yet because I've only done a few hours.
Yeah. I think similar to that, I think we put pressure on ourselves with our clients that our own dogs should be awesome as well. Should have the perfect demo dog and all of this. But actually, I would say my business grew substantially when I stopped pretending that I had the best behaved dogs ever and was just, do you know what, I'm a real human. I don't do half the stuff that I'm asking you to do because I haven't got time because I'm here with you.
Yeah.
There's an irony in it somewhere. So I think it's just about taking the pressure off, being more realistic and just being a human.
Yeah. We are all human. We're all going to do brilliant things sometimes and not so brilliant things. As long as the intention is not to do stuff that isn't brilliant on purpose and to bring other people down, then, you know, just expect that it's going to dip a little bit sometimes.